Indeed. Welcome to Vikings Game Plan. Special Teams Coordinator Mike Priefer is our featured coaching guest this week. He's been the Special Teams Coordinator for some of the best special teams in the NFL for quite some time here with the Minnesota Vikings, and we'll start with this. Special teams. Why did you start with special teams and not like offense or defense?
So when I coached in college, I did both. I was either offense and special teams or defense and special teams. And then when I got my opportunity to enter the NFL in Jacksonville back in 2002 with Coach Carlson down there, it was as an assistant special teams coach. So I got my foot in the door in the NFL on special teams, and you know, my father's background being a special teams coordinator in the league for a long time, and I have a great love for it. I get to work with the whole team, and you and I've talked about all the benefits of coaching special teams, and I just fell in love with it. And the longer I was doing it, the more I loved it, and the more I liked working with the players I had, and so that's been my career, and I wouldn't change a thing.
Now, Mike, outside of the punters and kickers, you've seen a lot of good special teamers here. You know, the one that comes to mind now is Marcus Sherrills, who just handles all facets so well. Overall, what makes a good special teamer?
I think you have to have a great want to be good on special teams. I think you have to love the game of football. You know, great special teams players come in all shapes and sizes. You have J-Ron Curse and you have Marcus Sherrills. You have we had Larry Dean here before and Jamarcus Sanford, and you know, we had Tyrone McKenzie and other guys that have played some great special teams for us over the years. So I think it's you have to love the game. You have to have a little bit of a couple screws loose over there to run around and hit people and take hits, and so those are the type of guys that I kind of relate to anyway. So it kind of was a benefit to coach special teams because those are my type of guys.
Now, the first-round rookie from 2018, Mike Hughes, he's a cornerback, but he had a very accomplished career at UCF, returning punts and kicks. How is he handling that facet of it so far?
You know, Mike has a lot of God-given ability, a lot of talent, and the thing I like about Mike is he's willing to learn. He's willing to be coached. He's willing to get better. And what we're doing is we're teaching him a lot of the small points of how to catch a punt correctly and how to track a punt correctly, kick off as well, so he can get going a little bit faster, so he can use that talent. You know, he could play on gunner. They didn't touch him the other day. Jacksonville didn't touch him on a gunner rep. He played left corner on a punt return rep. It was outstanding. He could play on kickoff. He could be our kickoff returner. So until he starts playing a great deal of defense, which could be sooner than later, I have no idea, he's going to play a lot of special teams for us.
Now, in very fatherly-like fashion off that Jacksonville game, when Mike retrieved a punt at the 5,
right,
you ran right to him,
right,
you know, because he didn't get to the 20.
Right.
What's the teaching moment?
Well, we tell our guys exactly where to line up, and you don't want to back up any further than that. In fact, we don't even teach them to fake a fair catch. You can bluff a catch, but if you do a fake fair catch, guys will normally go around the punt returner to down the ball inside the 5 like our guys would. So, you know, we have a yard line that we want them to be at and not drift back, and then you can easily, if you don't fair catch it, you can go block as well. So those are the type of things I was talking to him about, and you know, he didn't know exactly where he was, which is fine, and you know, he caught the ball and did what he could with it, but at the end of the day, we're hoping that ball bounces in the end zone because it would have landed about the 5.
Now, on punt coverage, Mike mentions the gunners. Those are the guys on the outside. What makes a good gunner? What are some keys to being good at this job?
It's funny because, again, they come in all shapes and sizes, and the 2 starters from last year and hopefully this year as well are Marcus and J-Ron. And, you know, Marcus is going to use his quickness. He's going to use the counters. He's going to use the dip and rip and stack and do the things where he's been taught to do and has really excelled at over the years. And then J-Ron's the bigger, stronger guy that once he gets rolling, he's really fast and really hard to get to. He's using his hands a little bit more. He's being a little bit more physical. He can power through some things more than Marcus can, but Marcus has got that quickness. So, and again, you got to love the game. You got to love to run. You got to know when to throttle down the tackle if the returner already has the ball, and when to take a shot at a guy that's just catching the ball. So there's a lot of little small coaching points into that, and both those 2 guys, and we've got several other guys that have really bought into what we're teaching there.
Remember the brief time you used Everson Griffin as a gunner?
Loved it.
I mean, who wants to get in front of that train running down the field?
Nobody.
Are you kidding me?
And when I think his best play was when he hit Devin Hester early, and we got a 15-yard penalty, and Devin said, "I don't want to do this anymore." Because when a guy that big hits you illegally, but legally or illegally, it's going to hurt.
And that's Devin Hester. Last one. Daniel Carlson, the rookie from Auburn, is the Vikings 2018 kicker. Other than his strong leg, what do you like about Daniel?
I like his demeanor. You know, I spent a lot of time with him at the Combine, interviewed him one-on-one, spent time down at Auburn with him for about a day, got to know him a little bit as a person, what makes him tick. you know, he's very calm. He's much different than me. He's not an emotional guy, and I don't think I'd be a very good kicker in the NFL with my demeanor. But he's got a very calmness about him. You know, he still has some things he's got to figure out. He's very coachable. He's willing to learn. He's played in some big games in college at Auburn, and you know, in the SEC, it's 90, 100,000 people every week, so that's not going to bother him. I just think he needs to learn, you know, how to be successful on a consistent basis, which hopefully he's getting closer, which I think he is. And then he's got to go out and just do his job every week on kickoffs. And he's got the big leg, like you said. He's got a bunch of tools in his toolbox, things that he can do differently than some other kickers, kicking off. And then PAT field goals, he's got to be the consistent performer that we need him to be to help us win a championship.